All right, week 4 gone, week 5 here. I'm here to give you guys at least I would give you guys a recap of week 4. But honestly, once again, for the fourth week in a row, it was basically just dog shit. I mean, the only notable games, Systemic Killers gave the Booth their first loss in a decent game, so now that just leaves God as the only undefeated team left. I don't expect him to lose this season. But Garen did give us some type of hope that we could beat God, as he kept it close all the way up until Danny just fucking just hit his nuts. Anyways, they lost by like 20. Those were like the closest games, were like 20-point games. The biggest news, honestly, from last week came from our favorite person to talk about here, Team Fuck. Team Fuck pulled off their first win, despite all of the odds against them. They cracked over 100 for only the second time this season. I know all year I've been saying he hasn't hit 100 at all. I forgot week 1 he did hit over 100, so I'll give him credit where credit's due. He hit 100 for the second time this season and managed to win against none other than Alex, which, well, brings us to our clown of the week, Commissioner Smell. I'm sure you all thought I was gonna say Alex. And I was going to say Alex, I'm not going to be a jerk here, but that was all the way up until Fennell started a Red Bull-fueled rant about how the Bucks, who lost to the Bears, were definite title contenders, and it was the refs' fault on why they're undisciplined and why they get so many penalties, and that would magically be fixed later in the season and they're just title contenders. And it was bad. I mean, we're going to get into some of the stuff here. It was quite the embarrassing moment for Fennell. Fennell started by getting really angry. He said he would 3-0 Ben and Smash with 5 different characters. And Fennell is really good at Smash, but not good enough to bet $50 on it, $10 per game, that he 3-0s him. Like, he can't let Ben beat him once or else he loses $10 in this bet. Terrible bet. Ben should have taken it. I mean, Fennell was really good, don't get me wrong, at Smash and all. But, Ben's good enough to pull off wins when it matters. And with that, moving on with that, Fennell was also the only person agreeing with himself in a 10-man group chat. Every time he spoke a bullshit opinion, he was facing 9-1 odds. And then he still had the audacity to tell all of us 9 who were telling him that he's spewing BS that we were the ones spewing BS. He went on to call Tom Brady the LeBron of the NFL, and I'll agree that Tom Brady is the GOAT. But he's never carried a team to a championship. I mean, granted, without Tom Brady, does every one of those teams win? Probably not. I mean, Tom Brady still deserves credit where it's due. But he always had a complimentary star when he went. I mean, he didn't just miraculously go with a shit team. He didn't join the Cincinnati Bengals last year and carry them. I mean, he wouldn't have been able to do that. But LeBron, you put LeBron on that team in the NBA, which is basically the equivalent of the Cavs, and he carries them to an NBA Finals. So, I mean, it's hard for me to consider Tom Brady a LeBron because LeBron's just on a different platform. And then Fennell attempted to insult me by telling me I don't keep up with the injury reports. I understand that Mike Evans was hurt in the first quarter of the Chargers game, but the only reason in that argument that I didn't point it out was because I'm sure you know this, but they give players, they inject them with shots, I think like insulin shots, whatever the heck they're called, painkillers. Regardless, Mike Evans was probably as numb as ever while he was playing in that Chargers game. After he came off the injury, it was fresh. It wasn't a broken ligament or broken bone, so he's able to walk on it. They give him a shot, it numbs the pain. He probably felt nothing in that Chargers game. But, I mean, adrenaline dies out, and, he probably felt it for the Bears game, thus why they lost in the Bears game. So your excuse of, Tom Brady not needing help or he was able to do it without help is ridiculous, because Mike Evans is a big part of that, and him losing Mike Evans automatically put them to a point where they would lose to the team like the Bears. a team that they should beat. I mean, I get it. Nick Foles is Nick Foles. I mean, fuck Nick Foles. Can we actually cut this out? Forget about all of this. I don't even care what else I had written down for this clown of the week. Nick Foles. Can we just talk? He's 3-0 against Tom Brady. Only quarterback to never lose to Tom Brady. He's a career backup at best. And he has a Super Bowl MVP. Who is this guy? He's like I don't even know what to consider Nick Foles, but I think Nick Foles deserves a ballot in the Hall of Fame. If you agree. Leave a like down there. Comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you agree. Nick Foles should be in the ballots for Hall of Fame by the end of his career. And our honorable mentions for the clown of the week, that's what we were talking about before, goes to Dot Dot for obviously losing the team, or to Dumbfuck. Quite the embarrassment. And our other honorable mention is Zach Hollis. I would also like to make a side note that Dumbfuck would have lost to literally anybody else in the league last week. He only won because he was playing Alex, who ended up scoring like 70-something points. I'd have to look. I didn't check it for sure, but it may have been the lowest amount scored this year by a team. So, if Zach had lost that game, I'd have clowned him forever. I mean, he's already in an ongoing investigation between the Cock and Ball Torture Organization versus Fuck and Boof trial. Trial was held earlier today via Zoom. We have some clips from that. We'll roll them real quick. The investigation process has since been called off, and now the FBI is looking into the commissioner for wasting their time, as they thought this was a serious matter, not a fantasy football related scandal. So at this point, we're uncertain on what they are investigating him for, but we're probably sure it's for gambling, as he deserves it. Fuck you for now. And with no trades, nothing major happening to talk about, we're just gonna get on to predictions. It's just another week of fantasy football this week. I would love for more to happen for me to talk about. But, I did rate these Wednesday. I understand this is coming out on Saturday now. But I wrote out the predictions on Wednesday so that they would be fair. I'm just late on production here. Because honestly, we need more to happen. Danny is going to rip through Timmy's asshole, as he has relatively easy matchups all around. Timmy doesn't have awful matchups, but they aren't nearly enough for me to even consider favoring him over God. I'm giving Danny 60-40 odds here. Team Fuck, he's looking to come out strong against Garen, but due to overwhelming talent difference between them, Garen will hold a 53-47 over Team Fuck. I don't know why I always rank him so close, because I already have a feeling that this is just going to be a blowout, and I'll once again have to apologize next week, but, good luck to Zach. Paps versus Cammy Boy. This actually looks like it'll be a pretty fun one. A lot of our analysts have been eagerly waiting for this matchup. Only issue is Paps are down Aaron Rodgers to a bye week and Nick Chubb, who's on IR. They do have Le'Veon Bell, though Adam Gase will probably only hand it off twice. That's a good 3 points. So he'll have to make both of those snaps count. Because of that, Paps will only hold a 52-48 advantage. I still think he'll win. I just think it'll actually be a tough matchup for him because of the, you're losing two of your starters. And the Boof gets to go up against one of the great minds of fantasy, who also scored the lowest amount that I'd ever seen this year in fantasy. Not ever. I mean, let's not forget, I'm pretty sure Timmy scored like less than 50 4 years ago. And Antonio Brown scored, I think, 4/5 of his points. So it's not the lowest ever, but he definitely got a low score with 70. Due to that underwhelming performance last week, and his struggle with injuries in the running back compartment, you should have taken the trade I offered you. I mean, I guess. No, you really should have, actually. You needed running backs. You don't even need McLaurin. It's too late now. It's really not. If you still want the trade, I'll give it to you. The Boof hold a 58-42 advantage until Alex gets his shit figured out. And finally, what should be the game of the week. What we are hoping will finally be just a good fucking game for once. We are really praying for this. The entertainment industry right now needs it. We are running out of things to talk about. I mean, we can only talk about fantasy football for so long with nothing happening and every game being a blowout for so long. So we are hoping to God that racial genocide and Smelly's game is good. Both teams should probably score in the 130-140 range, with the ability to score higher. They both have solid matchups all the way across the board. But due to inconsistency and uncertainty from a lot of the players, I'm going to have to hold Trevor at a slight edge, at a 50.5, 49.5 advantage. This can go either way. I would have given it a 50-50, but my executive producer told me not to do that ever again. So, this is about as close as I can get. Before I go, shout out to Tom Brady for doing the cracking 4 gesture. For those of you who don't know, cracking 4 is a diss aimed at any gang repping the number 4. It's where you put your 4 fingers up and kind of crack them down a little bit. It's dissing any team or any gang who reps a 4. So you gotta love the dedication from Tom here. Anyways, I just wanted to shout that out. Until next time, Godspeed from the Cock and Ball Torture Organization, and good luck to everybody except Fennell.